Hello and welcome to this year's Tinsel and Turkey Tour. Um, if you're new here, subscribe to Skips and Travel Guide or follow the Facebook page. And we had a fantastic trip. It was really lovely. Yes, it was basic and it was budget, but you get what you pay for, and I paid for a budget holiday. The hotel was lovely and warm. Felt like I was in the Bahamas some of the time. Not an issue. And we had a couple of lovely trips out, one of them to Brighton and the other one to Winchester. Also, we may or may not be getting a visit from Santa Claus. The first settlement that is recorded in the area of Bognor is an Anglo-Saxon settlement named Buchang Ora. Ora meaning landing and Bucha being a female Saxon chieftain. Bognor becomes a resort after it is visited by Sir Richard Hotham in 1784. In 1787, Richard Hotham builds his second home, Chapel House, which is in the centre of Hotham Park. In 1836, Hotham's Hotel is destroyed by fire and the new hotel, the Royal Norfolk, is built. In 1864, the first railway line to Bognor is completed. The year after, Bognor Pier is open on the 5th of May and costs £5,000. Bognor, like most of UK resorts, is in need of some TLC. And it's also needed modernisation and a rethink of how we go forward with these sites. There were a couple of places boarded up, shopping centres mainly boarded up, but that's the UK as a whole at the moment. The whole entire system needs a rethink. I don't think any government has the foresight to do that at the moment, and unfortunately places that are tourist places are being massively left behind because of that. On the day off in between Winchester and Bognor, we went to Ocean Park, and it's an absolutely gorgeous park. In the summer months, you can go boating, and there's a little train that goes round. We had a wander around, Alice in Wonderland statues in the wood, and it was generally a nice, clean park and well maintained area, and highly recommend visiting if you're in Bognor area. Yeah, if anyone wants to go to Butlins for the day, which you can get a day pass for, it was £18 for some of the attractions. Probably going to change if it's in full season instead of late season to off season. Do I recommend Butlins? At one point I'd have said yes. Now, because of all the extras you have to pay on it, no. It's missing a lot of the attractions that used to be there. It's very lackluster, and it's becoming very, very expensive because you've got to pay for the theatre tickets, you've got to pay for the swimming time, you've got to pay for the ride time. It's just not worth it. It really isn't worth it. Go to Spain. I think as a result, Butlins has let down its customer base and it's just prioritised getting money over its customer base, and that's why it's failing. Right, so the hotel is right across from the pier, and the pier has a theatre on it, and it has shows in the theatre. didn't have anything specifically that I wanted to go see while we were there. But yeah, I'd go check that out if you're stopping in the area. Stopping in the Royal Norfolk in particular. It's so close, you might as well go check it out. Nighttime entertainment in the hotel is like all leisureplex. It's bingo and someone singing, some Sweet Caroline usually. Uh, Sweet Caroline and the Penny Arcade, the usual shindig that we have in a lot of the pubs and clubs around the UK. And then we have there are pubs and clubs knocking about. They are expensive. I didn't see them particularly because I was just in the pub overnight in the hotel. Go check them out. I'd go check them out. Um, Shopping, like I said, it's like everywhere else. A lot of it's boarded up, and a lot of it's like mainstream. It's all sportsdirect.com. There are some smaller local shops. They're a lot more expensive as usual, but yeah, I'd check out the shopping centre that's not that far away from there. And where else would I check out? There's the beach. If you want to stroll along the beach, it's a nice promenade to have a walk down. There are pubs and restaurants knocking about, so check them all out while you're in there and let me know which one you find the best. One of the reasons why I would not recommend this trip at this time of the year is because in Winchester we were supposed to go see the Christmas markets. Unfortunately, too early for that. So yeah, if you are going to take this trip, I highly recommend taking it on later on in the year and checking out when the Winchester and Brighton Christmas markets are actually open, because that's what this trip is actually meant to do. Because they were closed, there wasn't a lot to do other than a bit of shopping in Winchester, and it's cold and UK weather. There's a few nice pubs in Winchester, and the shopping. There's a shopping centre. It's not so bad, but I seriously think what made it a bit lackluster was the fact there wasn't the Christmas market on. You can also get a guided tour around Winchester Cathedral, which is expensive if there's more than one of them. Winchester was originally known as Avente Belgram, which means Marketplace of the Belgae, the tribe that originally controlled that area. In AD 87-1, Alfred the Great became ruler of Wessex and established Winchester as the capital. Rebuilt its defences of the town, along with a new minster of Newminster, and it became so important that it was seen as leading the way in England's arts and learning. Later on, in 1079, they rebuilt the cathedral. In 1066, William the Conqueror ordered the rebuilding of the Saxon Palace and replaced it with a castle. So on Old Tinsel and Turkey tours, you get a bottle of bubbly when you arrive. You get Christmas Eve dinner, and you get Christmas dinner. At the night of Christmas dinner, you get a supper, which is a evening buffet. You also get mince pie and a coffee and games in the afternoon on your Christmas day, and then you get a Boxing Day party, which is usually fancy dress. So don't forget your fancy dress. Everyone should join in. And you know what? I think this would be fantastic if you had like younger kids. This would be a lot of fun for them. So I highly recommend that for your families as well. Just take a trip out. Britain became popular in 1769 after several male doctors prescribed sea bathing and the drinking of seawater. Don't drink seawater. if you don't know what the water companies have been putting in there, and salt water is no good for your kidneys and liver. Right, the famous Royal Pavilion, which was built for George IV, was built in 1787 and then later sold in 1850 by Queen Victoria. Right, the famous Brighton Pier here was first used as a landing stage for passenger ships from France in 1823. Stalls and fortune tellers and souvenirs with confectionaries were introduced. In 1889, the pier was destroyed by a storm. In 1899, the pier reopened, illuminated by 3,000 lights. Having enough of shopping at this point, I decided to go around the pier. Now, my sister has her own Instagram. It's Debbie Fox's Adventures. So check out that on Insta. And she went around the sea life and did a bit of shopping. The pier was open and the rides were open because it was half term. And though some of the rides had a number of people that needed to be on them to open. I went on the Log Flume. There was Cheesy Mouse one. Recommend the Haunted House. It's just worth going for the funnies. You know what UK haunted houses are like, with very dated animatronics, and you're more scared the animatronics are going to fall apart, to be quite fair. It was a lot of fun. There's no queues. Just jump from ride to ride. Get the wrist pass if you're going, so you can have a good go around all the rides. Yeah, there were amusements on the pier and food and donuts. We had donuts. Yeah, went back to the coach after a few hours and then went back to the hotel. So yeah, I didn't win the fancy dress competition last night, nor did I win the guest baked cake or the hamper competition. Santa bought me a magnetic bookmark, a scratch card, in a Christmas card. And there's duff prizes and there's good prizes and there's a good mixture of the two. Normally, something happened there, but we're not saying anything because they were free. So, do I recommend this hotel? Yes. Do I recommend this trip? Actually, I do, just not when we did it. Also, be aware when you're booking this hotel, they are a bit penny pinchy, which does show. Do I think this is bad? It's at a level that's acceptable because of the price you're paying. I think if it got any worse, there would be like complaints. But yeah, so I would go check this trip out, and I would book it later on in the year so you get nice Christmas markets and the full effect of the Christmas Eve. This early on, I wouldn't book it. I wouldn't have booked that trip. I did, however, book it as a super saver, so you don't get to pick and choose if you're booking a super saver. Would I book a super saver again? Yes, I've done multiple super savers. I enjoy a super saver because I'm from Yorkshire and I don't like spending the full amount. So I enjoy going with Alpha because Alpha's a very good company and the staff are excellently trained and they take good care of you. It is budget. It is the lower end of the market. So expect that. Don't expect above and beyond that. And that's just all I've got to say on that.